So I'm on Commercial Street not that long ago, and I go into a gas station to get myself a cup of coffee. And I'd gotten some gas out at the pump and paid out there, and then I go in, and I walk in, and the thing smells awful. I can't figure out what's wrong in the place, and by the time I get to the coffee, I realize it smells like sour milk. And normally I wouldn't really say anything, but it was so bad that when I got to the cashier, I said, man, it really stinks in here. And he looked up at me and he said, "What?" And that's when I realized, of course, he didn't smell anything. He'd been there all day. So he had no idea how badly it smelled in there. And it was amazing. People could have come in all day long and told him, "Oh man, it stinks in here, it stinks in here." And he'd just look up at him and scratch his head like, "What are you talking about?" Now, what would it take for him to know that it really smelled in there? Only one thing. All he'd have to do is walk outside of that place, take a breath of fresh air, and come back in, and he'd realize how badly it smelled. And so when we find ourselves living in situations that are limiting, well, one of the best things to do is to open our perception so that we can see a bigger reality. However, that's a lot to ask, because our minds and our realities are formed by the perceptions we have, and those perceptions, after a while, become like thick walls. This is how it is. And so one of the ways to change our realities and our perceptions is then to just change our reality. Literally step outside the glass booth. Go to somewhere else. It's as simple as starting the day at an earlier time. It's as simple as doing anything different in your day, in your reality. Just change one thing. Maybe you start reading for 15 minutes a day. Perhaps you get up earlier and take a walk. Perhaps you sit by yourself once a day. You just sit by yourself. Whatever it is, you do one thing to change your reality. The thing that happens is your perception will then change. Everything begins to break. Even the slightest change will make a break in your perception. And then now that that happens, once you change your perception, it usually expands, and then your reality is going to expand.